So I'm recording this call for all of you guys who aren't on the call this evening as well, just because it's something that we really, really powerfully want to start having everybody duplicating, because it is such an easy presentation once you've started to just get to grips and learn and get a good hand on it, right? It's impactful. People are sitting there and they're impacted by what you're sharing about the Isagenix world, being that product and opportunity, because it's all a oneness. And so this presentation really does just really hammer home for people. It's incredibly impactful, like I was just saying. And so what we'd like you guys to do is start to move away from the corporate presentation that's very rigid. It's not got a whole lot of personality. It doesn't give us a chance to really show people what we're creating. It doesn't give people that opportunity to go, oh my God, I want to be part of what those guys are doing. For me, when I first saw that presentation, I wasn't all that excited from it, but in my heart I was intrigued. I knew I was looking for something else, a little more spice of life. But this presentation, it lands for people. And I know all of you guys that have seen it, I know that it actually gets you excited. It gets you excited to really start to dig into those topics that you're just growing in your passion and your confidence in sharing. So what I really wanted to do was go through the presentation so you guys can make notes of some of the what we share. And I know Sophie jumped on her phone when Steve and I were presenting this, and she just voice recorded us doing it, and can now take that and she can start to really harness what she's saying in each of those each of those slides, so that she's just building her language around how she shares it. And so yeah, we're going to go through that. I might just share my screen now and do that. And then at the end, Steve's just going to share a little bit about a phenomenal podcast that he was listening to, that there's so many golden nuggets in there that we wanted to share with you. If it's your cup of tea, then you could really, really enjoy this podcast as well. If this guy isn't your cup of tea, you won't. But the takeaways are golden. So I'm just going to share my screen. What I'm going to do is, once I've actually completed this presentation, I'm going to add it as a file so everyone can just download it and use it, right? So I'm pretty certain that most of you guys would have seen this. This cover photo can absolutely be changed. You can change it to whatever you like. If you find that when you're doing your presentations, you've got people joining who aren't financially linked, then you can just do this presentation without the Best You branding on it. So no stress. All right. But at the moment, I know that most of you guys are doing your presentations with people that are in our financial tribe at the moment. So, just so you know, you can do it either way. You can put that cover photo to whatever you like. Steve and I had this one when we were traveling the UK, just something simple that I made on WordSwag and layout. So you can absolutely have anything you like for your opening. But of course, when we kick off the presentation, we are just welcoming, thanking everybody for coming, acknowledging everyone for their time, whether that's of an evening or a morning. So just being really super conscious in our acknowledgements. And we share that we're here to share with people Isagenix in its entirety. Like, we want people to know exactly what Isagenix is all about, what we're creating with it, and what's in it for them into coming along to this event is that they're going to start to see the full picture of what Isagenix is, and there'll be a chance for people to have a discussion and ask questions and even enroll at the end. And we like to make sure that that point's really clear at the beginning, because what we would love to see coming out of this new presentation is people enrolling and people being so inspired and ready on that moment that we're actually going to see some enrollments coming through at the event. Because if they're coming along to your event, having been in the Facebook page, having watched a couple of tools already, then there would be no reason for them to come along to this and leave. There'd be no reason for them to just want to do that if this is for them in that moment. So there are acknowledgements at the beginning. I'm just going to mute. Oh no, it's all good. Hi, Nikki. So then from that onwards, we've then got the Free the Best You Unleash the Best You video that you guys may have watched that we made in the Mount last summer. Again, totally up to you if you want to play that video. We love it because it's an insight into our community. And we didn't play this in the UK because we felt we'd added a few more slides that had some more content in it, and we were conscious of time. But if you watch it and it resonates and it's something you want to share, then go for it, because it is just such a beautiful way of showing people, if it, as well if it's reaching your target audience. Just have a watch of that with regards to who's coming along, because it starts to show people the community. And so introing into that is just going to play a short video that you could say some of the tribe in New Zealand have created, that is showing a little bit more about the community that we're creating with ICE, and the opportunity that's being created with Isagenix. That's the video there, so you guys can watch that and have a recap. Next we go on to this slide here, which is talking about what is Isagenix, the products. So we like to share that Isagenix have created a very simple holistic wellness system. This is an example of our premium wellness system. What you'll see and start to understand is that with Isagenix, nothing is artificial. Everything's cold pressed, completely raw, and delivered straight to your doorstep. Everything comes with a non-compromise quality guarantee on every single product. And we're going to share a bit more with you about how the program looks. First of all, why do we need a solution like Isagenix? So why do we need to cleanse our body and nourish our bodies with the Isagenix system? Then we touch on these 3 key pointers. And so we're talking about, number 1, nutritional depletion. So we can start to dig into the facts that we've got here, which are all keyed at the bottom, so everybody knows that they've been researched and they've been I can't think of the word now, so I'm a little bit jet lagged, but you know what I mean. The evidence is there. So studies have found that there's a depletion of nutrients in our soil, and often I'll share something of my own experience, and I'll just say, I was shocked to find that 1 bowl of spinach 20 years ago was sufficient for a person back then, but now we need to eat 40 bowls of spinach, or whatever the stat is. Have a little look at what is it that resonates with you. It's, oh my gosh, I realized that, and I found that I'd have to eat 5 oranges to get the nutritional value that I could have got from 1. So the food that our grandparents and even our parents were eating are so nutritionally depleted because of over farming, mass production, spraying of the soils. That's where you can start to really just share a little bit more about what you've come to understand about nutritional depletion. And often, guys, when we're at this stage that we're presenting and we're sharing this opportunity to others, yes, we don't need to know how the system works scientifically to a T. Yes, we don't need to know the details of soil depletion, etc. However, it is going to strengthen your skills in presenting this opportunity to people when you've got this basic knowledge of why we need Isagenix. Because we've gotten past that point of I love the products, let me just put you on to someone that knows more. Well, you're going to be that person that knows more. You guys are all sharing the products. You're now building teams. You're starting to have people in your teams duplicate. So now we just want to up level that basic knowledge into simply what's on this screen and a little bit more about what you've learned. I'm by no means asking you to go and study this or read heaps of books on it, but just start to upgrade from, I don't know what's in it or why, but it's worked for me. Let me put you onto someone that knows more. Now let's start to put on that hat of being that person that knows a little bit more. All right. Does that, you guys are getting that? I'm not in any means asking you to need to know the science into the soil depletion, but just have a little bit of a reason as to knowing a little bit more about the why of it. Yeah. Just so that you've really got that strength in your presenting. So we're going to touch on that. Next point, we're going to touch on stress. And studies are showing that 75 to 90% of doctors' visits are stress related. And what do we know about stress? Well, we know that it's a silent killer of health and will lead to unhealthy physiological changes within the body. You could ask for a hands up at that point. Who knows someone affected by stress or has been a person affected by stress? And you could put your arms straight up in the air so people know to engage with you. They know to put their hand up and copy if they can. And if people don't put their hand up, that is absolutely fine. It's just a practice and a skill we can start to bring into our presenting skills, right? So we're just touching on that stress. And then Steve and I, we're always so conscious that when we are sharing, we're talking about a little bit of a relatability to the audience the whole time, maybe a wee story and I'm talking tiny because we don't want to drag out all our talking. And then thirdly, the reason for nutritional cleansing is toxicity. And now this one you can really start to expand on, right? People can read that, but you could say, I was shocked when I learned of how many commercially used products were filled with chemicals that damage our bodies, such as deodorants, having aluminium in deodorant. Now, our body wasn't designed to be able to release things that are in shampoos, conditioners, toothpastes, deodorants, right? Our body was not designed to release heavy metals that we're finding in these products. So the reason that we need to cleanse our body is to help create that pathway that is removing toxins from the body. It's helping our body do what it naturally does best with the kidneys and the liver, but the Cleanse for Life and the isogenic system helps our body move all those things that we're putting in, and often it's subconscious. I'm just going to quickly check the chat. Yeah, you're right, Jules. That is the one they would have done at Wellness Wednesday. And this is so good. Love it. Yeah, so it's a really powerful slide, this one, and not one that you need to stand there and be on for like 10 minutes, but one that these are punchy, fast hitting, right? Imagine if you were sitting in the audience learning about Isagenix for the first time and you felt stressed, you were shocked around learning about toxicity, and you had an inclination about nutritional depletion. You'd be going, this makes a whole lot of sense right now. So really, really key. So from that, we're then going to start to share, what does the isogenic system focus on? Focuses on nourish days and fasting days. And these are just other ways of communicating shake day and a cleanse day. We found that using nourish day and fasting day, they land for people in a much more empowering way than a fearful way around cleanse. Just what we found. People are weird. We know that. We're all weird. Sometimes it just has to be a little bit of a shift in language. A nourish day. I know that shake day, it gives me the heebie-jeebies personally. I don't like it. This isn't a shake diet. It's not a day we live on shakes. It is a day we nourish our bodies. So I love talking about smoothie and nourish days. So we're just simply on this slide here, we're saying, so we focus, the isogenic system focuses on nourish days and fasting days. And the next few slides, we're going to dig into what a nourish day looks like and what a fasting day looks like, incorporating the isogenic system into your lifestyle. So on a nourish day, we take 1 to 2 smoothies. These smoothies are cold pressed, raw, packed with ingredients that are raw and cold pressed. All are tested for any heavy metals and pesticides. So we're taking it back to that slide before where we say, we've got so many of these things. It's high in its bioavailability, which basically means that because it's smoothie form, we're absorbing it straight away. So it's bioavailable. So we're absorbing it straight away. It contains many nutrients which are lacking from our whole foods, like we touched on before with that soil depletion. It's packed with, the rest that you can read there. You don't have to read every single point, but those first 3 are so key because they're addressing what you just spoke about around needing the isogenic system because of those key reasons. Now we're starting to see, so the smoothie is actually packed with nutrition that's going to help me deal with those things that they've spoken about before. So a Nourish Day focuses on taking in 1 to 2 smoothies and clean eating, clean snacks, clean meals, incorporating organic foods as much as we possibly can, because isogenics is a lifestyle. We do condone that eat as to season and organic as you possibly can. because we're not standing here saying, just use the isogenic system and eat whatever crap you want. That's where people think, I believe that's where people think that this is just something that they will crash course in. Actually, what we want people to start to learn is that incorporating isogenics, one, is vital to their wellness, but two, it's actually creating intuitive eating habits so that they're eating cleaner because they know that there's how to serve their body with the isogenic system. So that's really such a great slide there, where we get to show people that we're incorporating the smoothies to fill all the gaps, and we're also advocates to wellness, clean eating, snacking with holistic foods, snacking with something like you can see there on the platter. We condone eating well because this is a systemized program that essentially we get to make our lifestyle, which we all know. It's just we're wanting others to know that. So power in the language, and amen. Love it. Just checking the chat there for you guys watching the record. What sometimes I mention on this slide as well is that in your first 30 days on the system, yes, you are following more of a program because your body needs to cleanse and rebalance. So often what you'll find on a Nourish Day in your first 30 days is that you're going to have 2 smoothies in replacement of 2 of your meals, and eating 1 whole food meal with some whole food snacks along the way as well, just to really set the picture. So a bit more about what's in our products, in our smoothie. And at this point, I like to share, as much as I love food, there is no way that I could eat 3 to 5 plates worth of organic food 3 times throughout the day. I just don't have the time, and I don't have the stomach capacity, basically. But to know that this smoothie is packed with 3 to 5 plates worth of organic food, I know that I can happily have my smoothie for breakfast every single day. And if I'm going to have my second smoothie in the afternoon, that I have got so much nutrition packed into my system, so that when I then am eating, I know that actually I'm completely nutritionally supported. And now what I go out there and eat, I don't have to be as manic around finding all these ingredients. I can actually just eat more intuitively. Then we can talk about the greens and the multivitamins and the complete essentials. Now this slide we obviously had closed during the Best You UK tour because you guys in the UK don't have greens or complete essentials other than Sophie. So what we just do is hide that screen for you guys in the UK. But for those of you in Australia and New Zealand, and of course anywhere else in the world that's got the greens and the complete essentials, just touch on the points that are written on here, right? We've got amazing access to greens. We've got 30 plus raw ingredients in 1 sachet of greens. We're getting 32 servings of fruits and vegetables in that stick. Again, everything's cold pressed and dried, which is why we can get it in that 1 stick. So we know that we're getting our daily dose of veggies 100%, 10 times reached. Individually served AM and PM packets of complete essentials, which is your multivitamin, it's your multi-mineral, it's your CoQ10 collagen healthy aging supplement, it's your Isa Omega with your fish oils, and then it's your antioxidant support with Isogenesis. And again, this what I'm sharing here is just very basic knowledge, but to have the knowledge around what each one of those are, just again, it brings another level of professionalism as to what you're sharing. If you're just sharing, oh, these are just some multivitamins and minerals, that's okay. But you want to get people just knowing a little bit more. Complete minerals, complete vitamins, antioxidant support, CoQ10, and your fish oils. Just having that little bit more around what it is, so people are really starting to hear things for themselves. Then we talk about adaptogens. So what you'll see is that we're not actually picking a product and completely talking on that product. What you guys can probably see and relate is that those other slides, those corporate ones, talks about the shake and what's in the shake, talks about the Ionics, what's in the Ionics, talks about the cleanse, talks about the Isoline Pro, talks about and the bars and all that kind of thing. And people aren't necessarily really buying for having knowledge of the products. People are buying because they're starting to see something for themselves, which is what this presentation is way more about. So when we get to adaptogens, I often say, some of you guys might have started to hear about this word that's become a bit of a buzzword, adaptogens, a bit like when turmeric first came out. And now you see so many people talking about turmeric all the time, or kale, or whatever it is, right? Adaptogens has been incorporated in the isogenic system since day dot, 17 years ago. And our wonderful Jim Coover was gifted adaptogens by his friends in Russia. And the Russian scientists first discovered adaptogens back in the 60s, helping their performance athletes from the Olympics recover quicker. So they were able to support their athletes to recover their bodies, because what we've learned is that adaptogens help the body to recover. They help the body to adapt. And you'll find these in your Ionics, you find these in your eShots. That is absolutely phenomenal plant that grows in harsh environments around the world. And after just watching the most recent Let Me Reintroduce Myself video, Jim Coover's talking about adaptogens. He's talking about how they source their adaptogens from Russia, where these plants are growing in such harsh environments. And when you ingest them and put them into your body, it helps your body to adapt. And this is where we're going to start to help the effects of stress, like we spoke about on our reasons for nutritional cleansing. We're going to touch on that now. They're going to say adaptogens help reduce the effects of stress within our bodies. They help reduce cortisol. They help reduce stress and the effects. So that's where we can start to see positive changes in our body rather than those unhealthy physiological changes that stress brings on. So we love adaptogens. So then we move on to fasting days, a day that we call a cleanse day. So then we get to talk about the cleanse. So what does an isogenics cleanse look like? Well, it's nutritionally supported, a day in which we rest our digestion, but we still metabolize. So it's helping the body, helping to support the body's, the liver and the kidneys in flushing out excess toxicity. What we can say there is it's not a laxative, it's not a diuretic. You haven't got to be panicking or worrying about being near the bathroom. What this cleanse does is it is a cellular cleanse that targets visceral fat and really helps the body to improve in its circulation, cardiovascular health. And then you can just read the pointers there, Your first few times of doing the presentation, of course, you can just read the bullet points that are on the slides. They're powerful. They're perfect as they are. But as you practice, that's when you can start to bring in a little bit more about it. At the same time as being incredibly conscious about how much talking you're doing. Something I'm always conscious of is, am I talking to all of the room all of the time? You want to be engaging your room all of the time and not just being a presenter. You want to be with people in the room the whole time. So just be gauging the room. I'm just reading the comments here. Mum's just put, as I'm a visual person, I like to print off and laminate product details and have them turned out when people show interest in an individual item. Yeah, so at your parties, you can of course still have the product fast facts list printed off that Isogenics have provided, and if you want to laminate it, you can absolutely have that on your display, because when people get up and they start talking afterwards and they want to go and, so what is in more of that Ionics, they can see the fast facts without all of a sudden becoming naturopath. They can just look at some of the pointers. So I love to share a little story there and just say, when I first started looking at Isogenics, I was freaked out that I would have to cleanse and have a day with no food. I thought I was going to be starving. I was going to be weak, that I had to do it on a day where I was able to sleep or be, not out and about doing anything. But what I found was that I was my most productive. I get the best mental clarity and I have energy that is so consistent throughout the day. And so I've really come to love fasting. intermittent fasting days. And if you go and Google intermittent fasting, you're going to see that there is so much depth with the power of intermittent fasting, but we still get to eat on those days because Isagenix have provided us with so much nutrition. We actually still get to eat on a fasting day. How cool is that? So really important that you just share a little something there. So now we've spoken all about Nourish days, fasting days. That's literally all you need to share. Now you can start to share results. So Steve and I love to flick through these results when we're presenting. But what is really powerful is that if you've got people in the room who have got these results, who are, we're showing the pictures of, do encourage them to share. But one thing that would be super, and we didn't have people come up and give testimonials in the UK. It's something we reflected on afterwards, and we thought actually that is a super powerful part of the presentation, is to have people give testimonials like you probably would have seen at every event, wherever there's an opportunity or a presentation being given. But this is where your leadership skills really do come into play, is that when people are going to share their story, it must be a 30-second story. Otherwise, you're going to have taster parties and presentations that are going on way over an hour. You're going to disengage the room. The last thing you want is people standing up there giving like a life story as to how they even found Isagenix and then going on from there. So, and a message to everybody: perfect your 30-second story and be sure to be sharing with people how to do it. And if you're not too sure on that, absolutely fine. Just reach out to one of us after this call, and we can share with you tools on how to have your people share through a powerful 30-second story. So you can go through and you can choose who you have in your transformations. Again, if you have an idea of who is coming along to your event, then obviously pick some before and afters that are going to resonate with them. Just like when you add them to a Facebook page, you're going to go and comment on a picture that resonates with them, so it pops to the top of the page, right? So you're going to go through and you're just going to pick some before and afters of either people that are going to be there to share, or people that are going to resonate with others in the room. And if you're there and you haven't got anybody that can share their 30-second story, just talk a couple of seconds on this. So what Steve and I were doing was we were saying, so I, for example, would say, so this is my mother and father-in-law. They've had the most phenomenal experience on Isagenix in the past year, just over a year. As you can see here, they've both had incredible results. And from all the people that you're seeing in these next few photos, what you see on the outside is just a segment of what really has been transforming for them on the inside. This is my girlfriend Sophie. I mean, you can just see it radiating from her face. It's my sister-in-law Scarlett, who's been using the products for just over a year, completely transformed how she thinks about herself, how she shows up, the new routines and how she's feeling. This is my transformation here, where I shared, I was burnt out midwife, and the only thing I changed here in this 16 weeks is my nutrition. Just phenomenal. So you see, I'm not standing there talking through everyone's 30-second story. I'm just scrolling as we go. I'm just going to quickly check the chat. 90-day action plan is great for the 30-second stories. Yeah, and we've actually got lots in the Ignite page that you can go in and you can just search in the toolbar 30-second story. And a little while back we all did some lives sharing our 30-second story, so you can even have a watch and some reflection on those. So then this picture is in here because this is your segue now from, you've completed probably around 15 minutes on the product, and now you're segueing into the opportunity, the business side, or just the secondary income side for people. So we've popped that in there because what we do next is we're going to play a video. So I'm not going to play it to you. I'm just going to show you which one it is. And so what we say when we're presenting is, so what we'd love to share now is a bit more about how Isagenix is distributed. It's a word of mouth sharing which is a business model that we have come to completely fall in love with. It's not shared in shops. It's not just on shop shelves where you just pop in and buy. The reason for that being is that you've got a support team. You've got a support crew immediately as soon as you get started. And that is so hugely valuable. So we're just going to share a quick video with you guys so that you can start to understand a little bit more about why. And we always have this up and ready on YouTube. It's called Business of the Future. It's on Isagenix International, which is a YouTube channel that I strongly recommend that if you guys haven't gone on and watched a heap of the videos that are posted on this page, then you are missing out. It is insane, the videos they post on there. That's where you can get access to all of the Let Me Reintroduce Myself doco clips that they've been sharing. It's absolutely fantastic. In fact, I think I'm logged in, so I'm going to give it the thumbs up. So this video is fab. It's 6.5 minutes long. So it's really important that this is played at the beginning so that people get it from the get-go. And yeah, basically it's a brilliant run through of building a legacy, sharing about, there's a lot of people that are building side incomes right now, and it basically talks about Uber, Airbnb, etc., etc. Go and have a watch of that video. I love it, and I love watching it play, and whilst it's playing, having that moment to look around the room at the people watching it, because most people are just engaged, so engaged, because it isn't a video, it's not like any of the videos before whereby it's quit your job, leave everything and come do network marketing. It's literally just, there's a better way, and this is an option for you. And it touches, and I feel it really focuses on people doing this in the pockets of their life, which I know is every single person on this call, and was me, literally my whole Isagenix journey. So I love that video. Please go and watch it. But that's what you'll segue into at this slide. And then once that's finished, you can just say, oh my gosh, I love that video. So let's talk a little bit more about what is network marketing. And just really own this, guys. Like, I couldn't be more, I really just couldn't say any more than own it. Be proud of it. Be proud that this is network marketing. There's no reason not to be joyful around the fact that this is network marketing. You may have people in the room that do think they know what network marketing is. You might have other people that are brand new and not knowing it. And if it's the first time they're hearing about network marketing, they want to be thinking that you are that I can't get my words out. You want them to be understanding network marketing with the excitement that you deliver it, especially if it's their first experience. I am so grateful, and this is what I always share, this slide. I am so grateful that I didn't know what network marketing was before I got started. I didn't have any prejudgments. I didn't have any bias. I didn't have any negative experience. I trusted the guy that got us started. I don't mean Steve. I mean the guy that started Steve. Of course, I trusted Steve. We trusted the guy that introduced us to Isagenix. And when we started sharing it, and we first ever got paid because we were helping other people, there was no weird feelings about this. There was no weird feelings about a referral system that was going to help me pay for my products. And so we have come to love network marketing for all that it is. We've come to learn a lot about what network marketing isn't. We've come to learn about how network marketing can be done badly. Like any industry, you're always going to get some that don't do it all that well. But what we're eternally grateful is that we found Isagenix that does it beautifully. And let us just touch on that a little bit more. That's really what we talk about on that slide. You can bring in your own experience to that. You can say, for you, it might be, I knew about network marketing before. I'd seen friends doing network marketing before, and I was excited when I found out that this was network marketing, because what I know about network marketing is that I was joining a community of people that were going to be on the same page as me, that had my back. Your story might be, I've done network marketing before. I've been with other companies before, and I had a really bad experience. And so for me to have now aligned with another network marketing company, it took a lot for me to really trust another company again. But what I found with Isagenix is that it's integral. It's about giving back. It's about helping other people. And that's why I've chosen to align. So whatever your story was with network marketing, own it. Seriously own it. And the fact that you're giving a presentation on network marketing, of course, your story is going to be impactful because you've chosen to align with this company. Quickly check in the chat. Yeah, awesome, Jules. You're going to share with him this presentation tomorrow. Yeah, awesome. So next, we're going to do a little bit like what we did with the product. Why nutritional cleansing? Now, why network marketing? Why have Isagenix chosen to use the business model of network marketing? So this is the one, guys. I'm pretty sure that you're all at this moment feeling really confident about presenting the product part. And when it gets to this part, it's practice. It's just practice. And you'll start to string together how it's all linked. And the more you read it and go over it, and you start to understand the link as to how it's all connected, the network marketing slides, you'll be able to deliver it with that same connection link. Okay. And it's just practice. And if you need me or Steve to Zoom call into your presentations to do this part, we will 100% do that over and over and over and over and over until you feel that you've grabbed it. So never feel that you're alone or that you haven't got someone that can jump in and do that. So why network marketing? Well, first of all, the markets that Isagenix have chosen to tap into, which are weight management, weight wellness, energy, performance, and health and vitality. On a global basis, these markets outside of Isagenix, these markets are a $279 billion value. People are spending a total every year of $279 billion on these related services. And pause for an impactful silence there. That is insane. That is insane. In the room, who's thinking about how much money they've spent in these areas? Think about who's joined a gym, who's ever bought supplement, who's ever bought beauty creams, makeup. That's all in the vitality section. So much money is being spent in these areas already. This is what we really want people to understand. Everybody is contributing to these markets already. We're not getting people to invest their money in a market that isn't being invested in already. And the sooner people start to realize, oh, I'm already investing my money, I'm already part of that $279 billion stat, then they'll be like, okay, well, I'm already investing my money in that area, so what else is there to it? So people are spending all this money, yet disease and obesity are on the rise every single year. So people are paying a lot of money to look after themselves, yet globally, disease and obesity is on the rise. Now, surely if we were to look at that on a scale, we would be expecting that people would be spending more money in the markets and disease and obesity would be declining. So why are they both rising? And that's why we feel that with Isagenix, we've got a solution to these markets. All right, so that's really point number one. Those 2 bullet points there, point number one. So utilizing network marketing in the online industry. E-commerce is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So selling things online is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And it's the only industry that is set to increase by double digits in a percentage for the foreseeable future. Now, what I might do is actually take this and put it on the next slide so that you guys have got that's point number one, and that this is just part of why utilizing network marketing. So that point there is basically saying that selling products online is a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and one that is just going to double year upon year upon year. So more people are using the online world to sell and market their products. And we can do that with network marketing. So we're following the world trends of e-commerce, which is utilizing the online industry. And you guys, you might be listening to this presentation, but this isn't what I'm saying. If I'm presenting, this is just to all of you on the call right now watching the recording. You might be watching this and it might be starting to get you excited all over again, because you're actually going to start to realize the real juice of what you've got in your hands, in your hot hands, right? So everything's going online. You can also, on the online section there, talk about who in the room is starting to see. So there are so many more tills at the supermarket that are self-service. Who's starting to see that when you check in for a flight, that you can self-check in and actually not have to talk to any staff anymore to get on a plane? Where are you seeing so much going online? Do you go into the bank and you just use their apps, or you just deposit money into the hole in the wall? Right? There's so much going online that you can actually see in your day-to-day life every single day. And what happens to all those jobs when things are being put into more of an online world? Well, those jobs are made redundant. And 50% of jobs will be automated in the next 10 to 20 years. Oof, that gives me goosebumps. That is insane. 50% of jobs will be automated in the next 10 to 20 years. I'm sure every household in one way, shape or form, you might know someone, you might be been affected by redundancy. Is your job something that could be taken by a computer? So really important that you let that land for people. So we're choosing to utilize a business model that allows us to build income online. So we're taking control. Look, no one can make us redundant from having a network marketing online business other than ourselves, basically. So why else would you look at network marketing as an income stream, as a business model? Well, social media has got millions and billions of users on these different platforms, and people are now contactable. 50% of the world are contactable 24/7. You can flick a message from New Zealand to England and you see the little blue tick pop up. You know it's landed in their inbox immediately. So people are contactable 24/7 around the world. Network marketing also provides freedom of creativity without the stress. 50% of small businesses fail in their first 5 years, often because they're just drowning in paying out overheads. With network marketing, with Isagenix, we've got one overhead, and it's your food. It's your products that you purchase. You've got no boss, and you've got no employees. How epic is that? You don't have to pay anyone. Isagenix covers all of that. So that's where you can get into your creativity with your business. And then one of the most favorite things about network marketing and with Isagenix is our residual income. And the compensation plan with Isagenix is super lucrative, absolutely fantastic. And at that point, I would be explaining and describing what residual income is. So I'll be talking about everybody in the room. You're probably really present to linear income. So we've got residual bills. We've got bills coming in every single month. Whether we choose to go on holiday or we choose to go traveling, the mortgage is or the rent is always going to need to be paid. That's residual. Well, we've always got a phone bill that needs paying at the end of the month, whether we've turned our phone off for the night and not used it, or we've been on it all the time. We're always going to have residual bills. The bills are coming in every single month. And right now we're choosing to go to work, trade a certain amount of time to be paid a certain amount of money that our bosses told us we should be paid. We then get paid that money and we pay our residual bills. So we're going to work, we're paying our bill, and the bill comes back. We've gone to work. That's linear income. Residual income is where we've got residual bills coming in, comes in, our residual income comes in, we pay, the bills go out, but that exact next week, the payment's going to come back again, because residual income is where you do the work once, but you get paid over and over and over again for that work that you've done once. With Isagenix, you introduce someone to Isagenix, they get started on their products. Now they fall in love with their products because they have phenomenal transformation with their health and well-being. Your customers are not going to care whether you are flying through the air to another country, whether you're asleep in your bed at night. When they want their products, they can jump online and purchase their products whenever they so choose. They're not reliant upon you being there for them to have their products, which is why you can continue to get paid every single week. Your bills can get paid and you can choose whatever you want. It might be that you just want your car loan paid every single month. It might be that you want to cover your rent every single month. It might be that you just want to eat your Isagenix products for free every single month. Whatever that one bill is, it might be every single one of your bills. When you've got a well-oiled machine where you've got the bills coming in and you've got money coming in every single week or month, and it's just running itself, you can then choose to step away from that. And what can you do when you've got your bills and everything that needs paying every single month paid for? What can you do with your time? Residual income is time freedom. It's choice of time. It's choice of where you want to spend your time. And for some people, it might be they want a residual income that pays their entire lifestyle. And for others, it might be just that they want a bit of breathing space with their income. And then we can always talk about that in more depth afterwards. But it's just explaining to people an analogy where they're going to understand the difference between linear income and residual income. So people just start to understand that. And we can get into that more if anybody wants some coaching on sharing that. A bit more on the time leverage, we find that this slide is just the seal and deal in the mind around choosing to leverage. So we always share, we have chosen time leverage when it comes to working with people and everybody making money. And that's what works with the Isagenix comp plan. Now, the average job requires you to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, which is 40 hours a week of productivity that you can do alone, which is 2,080 hours a year of productivity. Now, we know that's an average because not many people work only 8 hours a day these days. However, if you choose leverage, if you had 100 people working just 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, that is 500 hours in the week of productivity, which is 26,000 hours a year of team productivity. If that person who in example number 1 was to work 26,000 hours, that's 15 years. At 12.5 years, it would take that person working by themselves 12 and a half years to achieve the same productivity as 100 people doing an hour a day. Insane, right? We choose to work as teams. We choose to leverage. And that's why. So I'll flick on past some of those. We get on to you share, they share. And at this point, hopefully you've only been talking and presenting for about 35 minutes. You can then grab your whiteboard. That's the example of the UK. As you can see there, it's got the pound sign. That's the you share, they share. We'll draw that out on the whiteboard. And I do love to go on to draw the deeper version of the comp plan then for people. Because when I did that in London, and then when I did that at Amy's place with Sophie, people really started to see the longer term, the depth to that. So definitely get practicing drawing out residual income with your left team and your right team. Get practicing that. And again, if you've got myself or Steve on Zoom at your taster party, or you've got someone in the room supporting you doing this, they can always jump in and do that as you're getting the practice. So draw the numbers for people. This is if we're doing it on a bigger scale. You can see you can have people come up and share their residual, their money transformation stories. And then here, Steve and I just have been sharing a little bit about how we've grown ourselves and the teams and the tribes that we've been growing and building along the way over the last few years, and some of the events that we've been sharing at, and the growth, and how we had to grow ourselves. Like, this doesn't all of a sudden, you don't have to be this inspiring person. You don't have to be this public speaker right from the get-go. We were just a midwife and an entrepreneur who were looking for more. We had no idea where this journey was going to take us. And what has residual income provided our life? We choose togetherness, and we choose travel every single day. That's what we choose, and that's what we get to live into. I'm just going to flip. These are all on hidden. So we then bring up the slide, what does your heart say? And what people in the UK loved about this slide is that they could start to see people that they knew. They knew Tom. They recognised Nadia's before and afters, and us being with Nadia in the other pictures. They saw Laura's. They know our friends. They started to spot people in there, so they could see a little bit more now that this wasn't just another group of tanned, smiling, fake people. They could actually start to see that this is real life, real people. So we pause on this part here and we ask people to think about, what does your heart say? Well, not what does your nattering head say, but what does your heart say? Was there anything in that presentation that you heard that resonated with you before your head maybe took over? What did your heart say? And what we'd like, and so these next few slides I haven't completed. This is just what we've been expanding on recently, but I'll complete this before I share it with you guys. But what we would like people to then do is turn to the person next to them and share a little bit about what they may have got for themselves from this presentation. So you're just getting people into small groups. It might be just 2s, it might be 3s, dependent on the size of your audience. Get your people in the room talking to each other. Just let them know, right, we're going to have 10 minutes to just share with the person next to you what you've been getting. And then once the chattering all starts, it's then your responsibility to float around the room, jumping into these little conversations and just giving a little bit of love to those people. Like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. How exciting you got that. Just be pouring your love into these little conversations around the room, because people are already looking at you as having another level of understanding and knowledge around Isagenix, which you obviously do. And so if you're just jumping into some of the conversations, you're just building excitement and I can't think of the word that I want to share, but you're building that level of excitement for them and interest. After, you can give it 5-10 minutes, judge how much the room's talking. Then you want to just thank everyone for coming, thank them for their time, thank them for taking a look. There is an opportunity now for people to get started. We'll be opening, we've got our phones, we've got that, we can just put together that their choice through the app and send them the link where they can then put in their payment details, or they can sit down at a laptop and they can enroll immediately into Isagenix with you. You can go through the pack options with them and talk about more for them. So you want to give people the opportunity to enroll. The reason being is we can say, okay, thanks, see you then, and let everyone go. And you may have missed the most golden opportunity for some people who are ready. So give people that opportunity. Also give people an opportunity to then head home. Because afterwards, and something that we're going to start to implement on more of our bigger scale events like our Wellness Wednesdays, is that we then want to start celebrating success. So you can share, thank you guys all so much for coming. We're actually now just going to continue and celebrate some people who have had some success this week, some people that have been paid, who have gone consultant, those who have gone manager, and really just start to celebrate people's success. And you can say, you're welcome to stay for that. If not, thanks for coming. We'll have some follow up and a catch up soon, and just let people start to head off then, and then get straight into celebrating success. So if you know that you've got someone coming who's just gone consultant, you could always have their little picture on there. And the reason that we're doing this now is, think about as these events are growing. Right now, you might just be having the odd event in your home. You might just be having the odd event, or not even odd, you might be having a regular events in your house. You're having taster parties every week. You might be having a taster party once a fortnight. But think about this as it's growing. People are able to come along to that and have a really impactful event. Start to think about, I'm going to be expanding this into bigger rooms, into halls, into bigger venues. I'm going to have more and more people in my team that live near me who I want to be celebrating for hitting consultant. I want to be celebrating for hitting manager. You know, it might be something like you've got a little pen with a diamond top from Typo that you want to give to your managers, people who go manager or consultant. You know, you don't have to be heavily investing any money into this right now. Like, I'm not asking you to do that. However, you know, when people go manager, that is worth celebrating. It's so worth celebrating. It's an achievement. It's a huge achievement. If for consultant, we can be cheering them and clapping them. For manager, we can be having a gift. But starting to then show people in the community who either haven't started sharing, or showing people in the community who are teetering on the edge of sharing, that we're going wild and celebrating people that have. Everyone wants recognition. Everyone wants to be included in a community like ours, deep down, really. They might have a bit of a hissy fit and say some weird things from the outside, but deep down, everybody wants to be involved in community that loves them and uplifts them. And when I had this vision painted for me, that imagine the directors, executives, managers, consultants that you get to start celebrating at your events. Imagine when you're celebrating 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 people at every single month that you choose to do an event like this, or every single fortnight that you do this event. Imagine the momentum that you'll start to create that's going to ripple effect throughout Australia, New Zealand, the UK, anywhere you've got team. How beautiful is that going to look? And really put that in your sights when you're doing your visualization before your event, when you're putting in your work before you do your event. Really have that visualization about, how is this going to look? How is this going to land? Because it's such a beautiful way of moving forwards. And one thing that Steve and I really want to do is we really want to celebrate you guys as much as we can. And the next obviously big event that we've got over this side of the world is Celebration in February next year. And so Steve and I are going to put on an event for everybody that reaches a certain rank and above. And it is going to be about reaching a rank and above, because, you know, we really want to celebrate the success of what you guys have been achieving in the business and how you've been putting yourselves out there. And those kind of things are what we're also going to be sharing in this last part of the presentation, so that people could be sitting there who have wanted to stay on and see us celebrating others in the community and think, man, I want to be in Brisbane at Celebration, being celebrated with these amazing people. Or I want to be at UIA in the UK having this celebration with these girls. I want to be in that crowd. So hopefully from what you guys are seeing from that presentation is a little bit more community, a little bit more ease around sharing the whole picture. Does anybody want to ask anything, share anything, your thoughts on how this is going to look compared to maybe the presentation that you're using now, the corporate one? Does anybody want to share anything that they've got? Feel free to just come off mute and share. Nada's looking forward to practicing. Love it.
I just can't wait to start using this one, because we've had regular tasters at mine, like Donna, you'll know, and we're talking about the products, which is awesome, and we want to go into it more, but it's just, we don't have it on the slides, which doesn't mean that we can't talk about it, but so this is just, it's going to be awesome, just expanding a bit more and just having a few punchy lines on each thing just to back what we're saying. I think that'll just go down really well, especially with that why network marketing side.
Yes.
We do you share, they share. We've drawn out the full comp plan, and then that's kind of it.
Yeah.
So we're not backing it up with why, and I think that will just be really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so true. And it definitely goes back to Simon Sinek's The Why. You know, you can watch that on TED Talk, Simon Sinek, The Why. But it's not very long. but it's about how you focus on delivering the why, then the what, then the how. The why, the what, the how. People don't care about how or what, they care about why. And the more we can deliver the why of Isagenix and not just be talking about the products, that's where we're going to see that real shift. So love that, Nards. Yeah, Jules, I saw you pop your hand up, babe.
I saw the presentation the other night for the first time, and it was just so much more impactful. Like the guests that I brought along, it just resonated with them so much more than the corporate one. Like the corporate one was just getting a bit old and tedious, no offense.
I didn't make it, it's all good.
But yeah, this one was definitely a lot more relatable, and I think a lot more user friendly as well for us, because it wasn't that whole corporate jargon, and it was more relatable that I could do while I'm still learning the products and all the different ingredients and that sort of thing.
Amazing. Awesome feedback as well, that you've taken guests and they enjoyed it. That's really cool. Really awesome. Thanks for the share. Anything that maybe Sophie or Jeanette would like to share, being that we've just done the road shows in the UK, and I think, Sophie, you came to like 3 out of the 4, didn't you? So did you want to share a little bit about what you got? Because I know you love this presentation.
Yeah, love the presentation, and just so relatable in the fact that I feel like I can talk about it as an overall rather than, the individual products, because I've done webinars and taster party with the corporate presentation, but to have this, I just feel like it's so much more engaging, and the people in my team are really excited to do it and to take it on. So yeah.
They're booking you in, aren't they? Yeah. They're saying, can you come do that for my friends?
I just need to get comfortable with the network marketing side, and then get them to do the products like what you did with me. But yeah, we'll nail it.
Yay! Yeah, you absolutely will. And being that you're going to UIA next weekend while we're at SKO, you're going to be coming out of that a network marketing guru.
I hope so.
If you want your posture to be to step up another level, UIA is the one to be at. And you guys will all feel the same in November once you've had that over here in New Zealand and in Australia as well. So fab, love. Well, what I'm going to do, guys, is I am going to just tweak the last little bits of that presentation. And honestly, please, this isn't the final presentation ever. Like, we're always only ever going to use this. We're always going to be expanding. We're always going to be growing. So what I would love is give me feedback, use the presentation, get some practice, get a few under your belt, and give me feedback. Let me know how it goes. Get me on Zoom if you want me on there to do the network marketing part. Still absolutely fine. But give me feedback. Give me feedback as well about the script. The template, the 5-page doc with the scripts and all that stuff that I presented the other few weeks back. Just give me a thumbs up. I've explained that with my tongue. I'm a little bit jet lagged, I'm feeling now. I thought I wasn't. But any feedback that you've got for that as well. Oh yeah, Jeanette, I'll come to you in a second.
Go on then.
Just give me feedback on that as well, everyone, because we only want to be creating tools that work. And if you're finding that something doesn't quite sit right, or something could be tweaked, or feel free to say, hey, have you thought about maybe wording it like this, or what I found works really well is this, would you consider blah 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 blah. You get me? Like, please always give me feedback, because I'm not making this stuff for you guys to have to do. I just wanted to start to put things together that would bring in ease and duplication, and really literally that is what we want to be creating, is systems and tools that we can show someone that we know they're going to show their person and their person and their person, so that we're creating, again, this well-oiled machine that things are just flowing, and we're not getting stuck on any points and going, what do I do next? And what needs to be, we don't want any of that. We just really want a flow, a systemized flow. So always feedback is needed. Even if you're finding that it's working really well, please give me the feedback. Yeah, Jeanette, go for it.
Yeah, we loved it. We thought it was really powerful. And like, it's a whole package now. So it's not just you're buying into a 30-day nutritional rebalancing system. You're actually buying into setting up a business. And I think a lot of the people we know will love that. And for me, on a personal note, the network marketing, it's just been those areas I wasn't 100% sure with. I feel more clarity now in the whole how it works, network marketing, which is brilliant. And we can download this, can we?
Yes, I emailed Paul back. See, and Sophie had the same issues with downloading it. I don't know how we managed to do it in the end, Soph, but I'm going to take out a few of the chunky videos so that when I do email it or it's on the Google Drive, it's not so big that you can't download it or get hold of it. So yes, it will be receivable.
Excellent, because we couldn't download it and we did try to convert it, but Paul said it was to do with the link. So yeah,
that'll
right.
all be in your juicy hands all over the world very soon.
Brilliant.
Love it. Thanks for the feedback on that. That's really awesome. Cool. All right. Well, let's round that off there. I'll stop the record.